Welcome back to Felix Arwell. Here, your host, Leticia. I am using these products today. This will be playing in this project, painting the female Buddha, Tara, a little sculpture of Tara that has a really boring color. So I wrapped the base because I'm going to paint that a different color. Got my rack, cookie sheet, plastic. I'm ready. Step one is to cover the sculpture on with this metallic red that actually looks pink by Craftsmart. Then I mix my cup, dirty cup. Okay, are you guys ready? I sped up the video to save time mostly, and it's fun to watch the paint flow faster since I mixed it not super watery so that it will stay on the sculpture longer. At least that was what I had in mind. And it's hard to get to a lot of the crevices and corners, like under her arms and armpits, areas like that. So it did require a lot of scooping. And there's no wrong way of doing this. You just, as long as you don't smudge it, you're good. And her ties, I just love her ties. They came out beautiful. Look at all those cells. Yeah, I like them. I am utilizing as much as possible of that paint to get to those sections of her legs that didn't get any paint. Pretty much that's what I'm doing here. In a faster mode, in a sped up mode, to save both your time and my time. Nice cells. Have you ever wondered why you get such a nice cells inside your dirty pour cup? And here I am using the sucking paint with a straw technique. Kids, don't try this at home. Paint does not taste good. But it was effective. I was able to get to places that it was hard to get to with the spoon. I even used it on her back. But then I washed my mouth. Yep. So here I'm just dabbing as much paint as I can, doing it the hard way. Got tired of doing it the hard way and decided to just pour more paint on it. Why not? It's just an experiment. My first dirty pour on a 3D object. Well, I am done and I love the way it looks. I'm just gonna let it dry up. The base has such beautiful patterns. I regret covering the base. Maybe next time I'll just leave the base, just the very top of it alone. I don't know. I don't even know if I will ever find a sculpture that looks like this, or at least similar to this, sitting on a pedestal. I don't know. I will keep looking at on thrift stores. Yes, thrift stores. I like shopping at thrift stores. Well, this is her back. Side. Just love that marble-ish look. Look at that paint. Just look at all that paint I'm going to throw away. Darn it. And here's the top, front, torso, hands. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! It's dry. This is less than 24 hours. 2. Have passed. I want to paint details on this Tara, but first let me show you a quick trick. I got this square plate with a wet paper towel inside of it. The plate does not need to be square. You can use a round one. This is a plate I don't use much, so I'm using it for this purpose. So I got my pretty wet paper towel in there. I added water while it was inside and 4 drops of vinegar so it doesn't get stinky, especially when you're going to be keeping the palette there for a few days. And you will need a thick plastic bag. Cut it out and place it accordingly and cut it out to the size, desired size, and then you cover your paints with saran wrap, with this plastic wrap. Once you have all your paints there, cover it up, go take your lunch, go out shopping, come back, and your paints will be nice and wet. So I will be painting her jewelry with a gold color. Okay, so we got yellow ochre for her cloth, the gold, iridescent gold for the jewelry, and the purple for the base, which I'm going to antique later on. And the dark titanium white I'm planning to use on her blouse, her top, and someplace else, but I don't know where. So that same ochre I'm going to use on the turban, the yellow ochre. So now I'm going to start squaring. I don't need to dilute this paint with any medium other than water. And I will also add a retardant later on. So here we are. I'm going to mark what color is going to go where. It's just a quick note for myself. Now that white looks too white. I don't think I'm happy with that white. I'm gonna have to add a little bit of yellow ochre and see what happens. I think I like it better. So let's jump on time lapse to make this go by faster while I'm doing at least 2 layers of paint on her turban and her cloth. Okay, now I'm going to show you how I blended this paint. Tiny bit of yellow ochre. Yes, I don't want yellow ochre to be dominant. And then I grab part of that titanium white, dark, and start blending them. So I blend it really well with this palette knife. They're exactly for that. And then I add some retarder. Since I live in a desert, I do everything I can to keep my acrylic paints wet. So I add just a tiny bit to avoid this paint from drying up quickly. Plus I have this new setup of the wet napkin that makes it so much easier. Now I'm going to start with her blouse. On the sections close to her hands, it's best to use a finer brush, even smaller than this. This is just for the big areas. And I did use several layers of paint on her top. I just kept layering it up till I didn't see any of the base color, any of the dirty pour. And feel free to move the sculpture so you can reach those hard to get angles. Now I'm going to start applying paint to the base so it's nice and dry. By the time I'm done with the jewelry, it's nice and dry. I need it to be dry because I'm going to stipple it. You guys will learn stippling, which is required to add the antique look to things, either furniture, art, or decorations, like this case. I decided to use just the titanium white dark on her earrings. And I still need to do her jewelry. I'm adding that same titanium white, dark titanium to the flower. This little lower flower and the top flower on her turban. Now I did all of her jewelry except this arm part of and the bracelet. So this is a really beautiful gold that is more appreciated if it's right next to a dark color, like a dark plumsy color or black or a deep burgundy red. But still, it's the camera doesn't really catch the beauty of it. And I did several layers of it as well till I was pleased. All right, jewelry is done. This is how it looks. Really nice. I like it. Got into those tiny little jewelry encrusted in her turban. I'm happy with it. I like it. Now the pedestal is next. It's nice and dry. I will be rubbing it, so it has to be really dry. If you have to heat it with the hair dryer, do it to make sure it's really dry. And this is the stippling technique. Really easy. The brush has to be dry. Don't use a wet brush, and that's the stippling movement. And the bristles have to be ruined. It's gonna be like an old brush, used up, beat up, and then you rub it. Here comes the rubbing part. The raggedy has to be moist, not semi-moist, not very wet. It's gonna be moisty because that paint's gotta come off. It's just gonna stay there in the crevices, and partially comes off of the smooth surface, because you want some of it to stay there. You want it to look old. So I'm going par by par. I'm working one section at a time so it doesn't dry up on me. Like I said, things dry up really quick here in the desert. So I'm going to switch to time lapse pretty soon. And it's just a lot of rubbing, and if your rag feels a little too dry, just spray it on. Add some more water. If the paint's not coming off quick enough, that means it needs more water. And if you gotta hold the sculpture to apply more pressure, just do it. Now here I went a little heavy on the paint. This is too much. Sometimes I stipple it a little bit on the side on a piece of paper to get the excess paint off. So I rubbed it off and started all over again. But I didn't reload the brush. All right. I'm liking it. I like what I see. Like right there under her bottom, it was hard to get to. A little tricky. It's all finished. Finito. I like it. I really like it. Here's the total job completed from top to bottom. Oh, off camera I added her eyeballs and eyebrows. I thought she needed it. That way she looks less creepy. Well, the Great Tara is finished. I hope you guys liked it. Give me a like, subscribe to see many more videos, more techniques, and I have quite a few objects, three-dimensional objects on my waiting list, ready to be painted, ready for some dirty pour. All right, hopefully you enjoyed. Here's the back side of Tara, or Tara, spelled T-A-R-A. Remember to visit my Instagram, Felix Art World. I have photographs of this work and much more. Also on Facebook under the same name, Felix Art World. Thank you. Ciao.